we'll start with you, Tim. Based on your survey, what were the main points that came out?
In Britain, for example, booking through smartphones, mobile phones has not taken off really to such a great extent. Again, Russian travellers are a bit on the forefront there in comparison, in that 20% or fifth of Russian travellers say that they have at least made one booking in the last 12 months, one hotel booking via their mobile phone, compared to just to under 1 in 10 amongst British travellers. So again, a channel that that might be worth keeping an eye on with regards to offering apps, for example, for making bookings through smartphones, or a mobile compatible website.
And one of the things to note is that we're only a small sales team, so some of our competitors have representation in the Russian market, and they have Russian-speaking sales managers, and we don't have the resource to be able to do that. So we've had to look for other ways in order to engage with the Russian market. And one of those ways that we've chosen to engage with them is via Visit Britain. They run quite an effective Russian sales mission every year, and a lot of the major players send representatives there, so Rocco Forte, Jumeirah, the Ritz, Gleneagles, so some key brands, but also quite a lot of product as well. Fortnum and Masons, for example, were on the last trip. So there's about 70 suppliers that attend this mission.
It's not about the brand so much, but about the experience. So what is the experience you're delivering rather than the brand? And that can have a complete... I mean, that's why we, as an unknown hotel brand, managed to have a 209-bedroom hotel that's being built, just about to be finished in Sochi. So, and that's about the experience, and that's where the Russians will really, that's where social networking, so on and so forth. So if you can drive the experience that you offer as a hotelier against just we're a brand, and that's actually where the independents have a real opportunity against some of the bigger brands, actually, from that respect.
You talked about Russians being very different culturally from the rest of the Europeans in terms of what they expect from a boutique hotel, which is what most of us are. Do they have different expectations?
What seems to be a bit curious relative to some of the other markets or other European markets is that they somewhat shun their own brands a bit more really than others. For example, the Spanish, they love all their own Spanish brands. The French, they really love their own domestic brands. Really, in Russia, that is not that doesn't seem to be quite the case really to the same degree. So they are somewhat lagging behind with regards to preference, for example.
I mean, I found there's some young people who we're dealing with who are becoming much more. I mean, they are much more standardised from a European perspective. It's just that one generation kind of elder, and then they change. There's a massive shift. Whereas, especially the 30-year-olds who are coming, 33, I think you were talking about that lot coming through. It's homogenising in terms of the similarities, etc. Language, taste, so on and so forth.
I must admit, we've tended to work with the DMCs and the travel agencies. I'm sure they have problems with the OTAs, and the fact of rate parity is really important to them. But there's not an online Russian OTA that I'm working with.
Okay. They equally deal with directly with the hotel websites really, and as you quite rightly said, the leading OTAs are Booking.com, Travel.ru, and Yahoo Travel as well.
And the Russian market is quite open to articles in terms of barter, which is always good, rather than actual hard cash for £4,000 worth of advertising. And that's also been quite beneficial for us if you've got the right article and the right magazine. And
so give them rooms in London, you can get articles, is what you're saying. Barter.
Useful.
Yes.
And in terms of the website, do you translate the whole of the website, or do you just pick the main pages and the booking pages?
Just main pages, main pages.
Yeah, what social media channels, platforms are they actually using?
Pretty much the same as everybody else. Facebook by margin. What I found very interesting is that YouTube is considerably ahead of Twitter, for example. But other than that, pretty much the norm, really. Google Plus seems to be quite high on the agenda, really, considering how young that site still is.
There's ways of working with the Russian market even if you can't afford to have representation or employ a salesperson particularly just for that market. So there are other ways. Visit London, Visit Britain. They all provide good market snapshots of tips to work within the Russian market. Both of those agencies will provide lists of the key DMCs that you can perhaps talk to both in the London market and in Moscow as a starting point.
I mean, based on what I said before with regards to the destination tourist board websites that Russian travellers use as an information source, it seems that doing something like the Goring does is definitely something very valuable and helpful. I mean, other than that, don't worry about not being brand associated as we've heard as well. It does not seem to be really that important to Russian travellers. But I mean, social media seems to be a channel that Russian travellers increasingly use, or more so than some other Western European markets. So to communicate via that channel, I consider important. Yes.
For me, talking to the friends who I'm now dealing with, their Russian friends and work colleagues from over there, is how do you help them solve the visa issue? So how do you actually have on the website of the hotel offer? They understand the steps they have to run through to solve the visa issue, and how can you help? Is it having a LinkedIn with a Russian visa, somebody who helps them solve the visa with a visa agency here? How do you think about the consumer and solving that problem? If you can, on your site, have written in Russian, okay, visas, this is how we help, we can solve that problem. Because I was speaking to guys like, I've been waiting for 4 months to come and do something or whatever. I mean, it's that type of, and if there's a way of breaking that and solving that, and that you literally work through that, then the chances are that may open up the reason they'll come and stay with you against, say, a Hilton or a whoever at Holiday Inn or whoever else it might be.
If you have that as part of a landing page about we help you with visas, your SEO is going to shoot up as well, because that's what you're going to be looking for.
Surprisingly, I was a bit worried about my contribution, but no, really good, interesting network of people, a really good panel. I thought fantastic event, well done, really, really great actually. So it's been really good.
Yeah, really, really useful actually. It's the first event I've been to with boutique hotels. I saw the Chinese one you did recently online, pushed that through all of our partners at London Partners. Found that really, really fascinating, so thought I'd come down and have a look at the Russian market one. Found it absolutely fascinating, great panel. You really did have a good panel there. The Goring Hotel were a partner of ours, so it was really nice understanding them a lot more, but also sympathising with the rest of the audience as well, finding out exactly how they can improve what they do and understanding the market a lot more. But the actual venue, absolutely incredible. You've got a great venue here, and I've already spoken to the organisers about how we can work a lot more closely with them, because it is a stunning venue. But great event, really, really pleased with it, and thanks so much for inviting me.